Instead of buying things for your kid that you never had, why not teach them what no one taught you as a kid? Because that is more sustainable and it will help them when they are finally ready to face the real world. If you are used to spoiling your kid because you think you love them, then this video is for you. This will teach you how to give your child tough love to sharpen them and equip them for the future. You see, some parents spoil their children all in the name of giving them the best of life. They harm their children by exposing them to certain privileges that don't warrant at some certain stages. Why on earth will children less than 2 years old be given an iPad at an age where they are supposed to be suckling on the mother's bosom with reckless abandon and be cradled to sleep like the innocent little infants that they are? Are they supposed to use the iPad to check the density of the milk that is coming out of their mother's breast? Giving some things that aren't supposed to be given to children at some point or stages of their life is very destructive to them. It takes away their innocence and willpower to discover and harness their true value, worth, and potential in life. I'm not sure of the Western world, but as an African that was born and bred in Africa, I know that some of the gifts that parents give as a show of love and affection to their children at ages when they are supposed to be taught about puberty and growth are exclusively a display of the parent's ego and wealth, not necessarily for the child's best interest or benefit. I overheard some teenage girls of ages between 13 years to 15 years old having a conversation. One of them was proudly telling her counterpart that she will never in her life post a picture of herself on social media that is not taken or edited from an iPhone. What a disaster. This is a girl that is probably struggling with which brand of sanitary pad that best fits her menstrual flow, whose mind is supposed to be preoccupied with dreams and aspirations. This girl has no job and is fully dependent on her parents, and also happens to be very equipped with a very high standard and taste in life for vanity already, with absolutely no means whatsoever to fund that kind of lifestyle. How did we get here? Where did she develop that kind of mindset of lies and putting up a performance for the world instead of concentrating on her studies or acquiring a skill to enable her to fend for herself or to do something to add value to the society, herself, and her family? And what kind of knowledge do you think this girl is going to impart into her children when she finally becomes a mother? She is looking for very expensive gadgets that she has zero means of acquiring on her own to filter and foster a fake image of a shadow of herself and sell those lies and deception to the gullible like minds. That is an inherited ego she subconsciously absorbed from what they call the new trend or her parents to project about herself, an attempt to conceal her real self in makeups and wigs. All these things cannot conceal character. A point comes in life when you have to deal with the real challenges of life, and all these things are part of the causes of low self-esteem and depression. It makes children want to settle for less and become lazy because they were handed everything on a platter of gold. What happens if the source of supply for those privileges vanish? The children will be led to get those things through other dubious means. There is an adage that goes, "Don't give me the fish pie, teach me how to fish the pie by myself." Making everything available for your children at some certain stages in their life makes them reluctant to harness their natural skill, gift, or talent to push themselves to discover their full potential. They always end up living their parents' dream by inheriting their parents' legacy. Some parents even go as far as choosing courses or skills for their children to learn. That is not love, that is selfish. For a parent to groom their children to become little versions of them instead of grooming those children to become best versions of their own true selves that they were created to become by God. Parents are supposed to give their children basic guidance and direction, and if possible, to create opportunities and conducive environments for the children to be able to experiment with life in better conditions. Then leave them to make their own life choices. Some parents use their children to try and correct their own past mistakes. They use their children to try to achieve what they could not achieve during their own time. The world changes rapidly with time, and people need to evolve mentally, spiritually, and physically to blend with the new world. Some lessons are best taught by one's personal experiences from their own life exploration, not from their parents or teachers. So parents should stop imposing their idea about life on their children and stop breathing down fire on their children's neck to become something they are not created to be. Some parents stoop as low as lying about their grades when they were in school to put unnecessary pressure on their children to do better in school, thereby creating tension and competition where none exists, leading children to think they are supposed to live their lives to match up to other people's expectations, instead of just encouraging their children to do what is right and best for their life, so that they will not turn out to be liability and a menace to the society. May God help us to raise God-fearing children. Please like, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comment section so that we can continue to build this community of strong people of faith together.